Hi, I'm Hook. We're here today to talk about step-by-step instructions on how to use URICIDE. The first step is going to be make sure that your turf is ready for the product. What I mean by that is making sure that it is clean. I typically use a leaf blower to go and blow all the leaves and debris that land on my turf. And I also make sure that all of my pet's waste is cleaned up before I spray URICIDE. Additionally, you're going to want to make sure that you do this in the time of day where the sun is not beating down on your turf. I prefer to use the late evenings since it's going to allow it the most amount of time without the sun beating down on it. Or you could go ahead and wake up early and make sure that you apply it before the sun comes up. The next step is going to gather all the items that you need to apply the URICIDE. I buy URICIDE by the gallon, so URICIDE sends a quart-size application bottle along with my purchase. However, if you were to just go ahead and purchase the quart-size container, that container itself is the applicator for your product and will work very similar to the manner in which we're about to discuss with the orange bottle that they send along. Additionally, you're going to need a garden hose that'll reach the full length of the turf and or landscaping that you intend to apply the product. The next step is going to be to go and fill the application bottle if you bought URICIDE by the gallon. Once your bottle is full, go ahead and put the handle of the applicator and screw that onto the top of the clear container. If you purchase URICIDE by the quart versus buying it by the gallon, just note that the bottle that they send the product in is also going to be used as the applicator bottle. All you have to do is take the provided nozzle and screw it on top, and it's just going to be exactly the same in the following steps. The next step is going to be screwing the hose into the handle. Before we turn on the hose, we'll first talk about how to use the nozzle. So you see the two dials right here. You got one in the front, you got one in the back. This is going to control allowing the URICIDE out of the bottle, and this one on the right is going to control letting the water into the nozzle. So you see on the top it says off, and on the dial you see a little bump right here. So in this position, the water is currently off. If I rotate that 90 degrees counterclockwise, the water is now allowed to enter the nozzle. The one in the front right now is in the off position. If I turn that 90 degrees, now I'm allowing the product to leave the bottle and join the water as it leaves the nozzle when we're actually applying URICIDE. If I only want to spray water, again, I just turn this 90 degrees, and you also see the little guide here, turn counterclockwise to open. If I only want to spray water, I'm going to bring this the front dial back into the vertical position, and then now I only have water leaving the nozzle. If I want to turn the water off now, all I have to do is rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Just be careful not to over-rotate it, because if you over-rotate it in either direction, so if I'm specifically over-rotate it when I'm opening it, you'll see a little bit of a leak that would start forming there. If I to fix that, just go rotate it all the way back to the off position. The next step is going to be turning on your hose. So instead of turning it on all the way, I'm really only going to turn it on about 10 to 15%. Any more than that is going to be wasting product since it's very strong. The next step is going to be applying the product. So again, with the right dial here, I'm going to turn that 90 degrees and let the water start to flow. You notice that it's just clear water that's coming out right now. If your turf was really hot from that day, you go ahead and apply like a thin layer of water there to try to cool down your turf. However, it's pretty cloudy right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and let the product out of the bottle as well. So with that, I'm in the front dial here, turning that 90 degrees. And then now you can see that the output is a lot more white, a little bit frothier looking. That's just to let you know that the URICIDE is flowing out. So I like to apply a little bit more product than just a thin layer because I have two 75-pound dogs. If you had smaller dogs or not much of a smell problem, you could probably get away with a thinner layer. However, I like to use about 1 quart for my whole little turf pack or turf area, which is about 500 to 700 square feet. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this all around my turf. And I'm going to focus a little bit more on the areas where I know they go. And for my dogs, it's right when they get outside and get onto the turf. So as you can see, I got pretty much all of my turf. I'll also spray the rocks. And I'm not worried if it hits any of the shrubs or any trees in my yard because I know that it's going to be safe I've been using URICIDE for a couple months now, and it hasn't harmed any of my plants. You can also go over them after the fact with just water, just to make sure that you can push all that product down to the rocks where the source of that odor is. If you have trees where your pets specifically lift their leg or do their business, you can spray the base of that tree and not be concerned if any of that product gets onto your trees. Thank you for watching this video on URICIDE. If you still have any questions on how to use the product, please visit uricide.com. Thank you.